All right, welcome everyone. Thanks so much for being here. Welcome to our virtual Hollins happy hour. We're so excited to have so many of you join us tonight and really grateful for our guests. So before we get started, at the bottom of your screen, there is a chat feature. If you will, take a moment and let us know that you're here. Just be sure before you do that, you click on the little down arrow, and rather than say to all panelists, do all panelists and attendees so that we can see what Hollins alumni are here with us this evening, and so that you all can connect and chat and interact with our presenters tonight. So hope you'll do that, and thanks so much for being here. Again, the program tonight is interactive, so I hope you will ask questions and talk. I will relay the messages to our participants. So we have two fabulous alumni here with us tonight. Our expert bartender is Malia Diaz, class of 2019. Currently, she is in Virginia Beach at the National Golf Club, while she's also pursuing acting and theater professionally. Day to day, she handles the operations, but also works for the formal events. And recently, her recipe for lumpia has been picked up by the Chico's franchise, as well as her own club. So we're really excited to have her with us here tonight. Also joining us is Kimberly Lamotta-Maye, class of 1999. Kimberly is our alumni board member, also in the Hampton Roads, Virginia Beach area, and has been a fabulous volunteer, leading that chapter as the co-chair, serving as class reporter, engaging in reunion, helping out with our admission efforts. So it's been really fun to have Kimberly on board, and we're looking forward to an awesome time tonight. So thanks so much, everyone, for checking in. And without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to you, Malia.
All right. Hi, guys. This is so exciting to be connecting with all of you throughout this crazy pandemic and be able to connect with all of the different classes. And I'm so grateful you decided to spend your evening with all of us. So I'm going to walk you through 3 cocktails, and how my format will be is I'll go through the name, maybe tell a story behind it, go through your ingredients and your garnishes. And if you have any questions or not concerns, but maybe fun comments, feel free to go in the chat. And then Kimberly, fabulous Kimberly, will be walking through the mocktail version. So whichever you decide to do is okay. So the first one we're going to do, of course, the Holly Collie Collins. I tried explaining this name to my boyfriend Kyle, and he just doesn't get it. So it's just a Hollins thing. So the first glass we're going to start with is this one. So whatever you have works. So I used a tall one that's kind of curved in the middle, just for aesthetic purposes. And that is going to be your vodka. And then you're going to have a little bit of your sour mix or your club soda, or your fresh squeezed lemonade. So my substitution is this San Pellegrino limonada, just because that's my personal preference and you guys do you. And of course we have a mixer, or if you don't. So Kimberly, she has a stir, which is fabulous.
I have my stir ready, yes. So for the non-alcoholic version, I'm not a huge tonic fan, so I'm gonna do the San Pellegrino sparkling water, and I'm gonna mix that in with my fresh lemon here. So that's gonna serve as my lemon juice, and that'll be for the sort of non-alcoholic. In the states where other things are now legal, you may prefer that versus drinking. Not to say that Virginia is one of those states, but some of the lucky ones are. So in that case, you might not want to mix your libations together. So we ready, Malia?
Yes.
Let's do this.
This is personal preference, but a good tip is that you don't fill your glass with ice first in case, I mean, if you're in a weirdly temperatured room, you don't want it to melt and then that liquid and that alcohol to die down. So we're gonna grab our shaker and we are going to start with our vodka. And I have a little shot glass right here. So we're gonna do 3 parts vodka and whatever if you choose not to do vodka, that's okay.
So do you ice the vodka first, shake it, then put it in the glass? You do.
A little bucket.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
Yes.
So we have an alumna who's using her Hollins highball glasses to make. How appropriate is that? Missy Roberts, 1985. And Ashley is loving the setup. So this is really great. What a fun way to spend a Tuesday evening.
Yes. So we have our shot glass and we have our vodka. So we're gonna do 3 parts of that.
Do you always measure, Malia?
No. I do not, but you know, for this purpose,
Yes.
why not measure?
Why not measure? When you're serving at the country club, I'm sure you measure. Just to, you know.
Sometimes, depending. Depending. So we have our vodka, and now we're gonna do 1 part sour mix lemonade, fresh squeezed lemon, whatever your preference is. So I'm gonna undo this. Love that satisfying sound. And then we're just gonna do like a 1 count, like 1, like a prolonged one in a way.
Okay.
And then your splash. So Kimberly and I are doing the same thing. My preference is not club soda or tonic water. So I just did a little San Pellegrino sparkling water. We're just gonna do a little splash of that, like so. Now we're gonna pop this one back on, and we're just gonna do a little shake. That one just exploded. That's not supposed to happen, but here we are.
Makes for a perfect drink.
Makes for a perfect drink.
That's right.
Now we're gonna add some ice cubes to the glass, the empty glass where we're serving. And now we got this and this, and we're just gonna pour it in. And it should be like a light, sort of summery light color.
Yes.
Like so. Yes, beautiful, Kimberly.
Cheers.
We're gonna garnish with a lemon. I've added a cherry in that because that's usually the go-to, but
The Tom Collins.
cherries. You got
Right.
it. You do what
And
you
I don't have any Collins glasses, so we're serving everything in low ball glasses today, but I
want.
don't care.
Yes, and here is the first drink. Cheers.
Fabulous. So those of you who might be making this along with us at home, please post your pictures on social media and tag Hollins Happy Hour so that we can see everyone's drinks that they've made at home. I love the different versions, and what a great way to start the evening.
Yes. And folks that are drinking along with us, tell us what you're sipping on today for happy hour, or your favorite go-to after a long day.
Yes.
While they're doing that, I think you two have an interesting story of how you met and connected, your Hollins connection. Well, before we get ready to do the next drink, will you guys share that with us?
Yes.
Yes. Absolutely. Do you want me to go first, Malia? I'll lead in.
You can lead it, yes.
Okay, so I had the wonderful opportunity of sponsoring an internship 2 years ago at my place of employment at that time, which was Centera Healthcare, one of our regional healthcare systems here in Hampton Roads. And I worked in the IT department, and I had, no, it's fine, I'm fine. I'd always wanted to be able to sponsor a Hollins intern and had the opportunity to. So worked it all up and sent a note to the Career Center, and I received the most thoughtful, in-depth letter and application that I had ever read in my life from Malia. Immediately gave her a call, and we did a Skype interview, I remember, right? Do you remember? And I think you went to the Career Center to do it.
The Career Center.
Yes. So we did a Skype interview. We talked for about an hour, and I hired her absolutely on the spot just because I knew she was going to be one of the best interns. And it was, of course, J-term, and it was a snowy J-term.
Oh no.
Not a normal, regular Hampton Roads, Virginia Beach, January. It was probably 15 days of snow that year. And so we met for coffee before January and hit it off, talked about everything. We both actually attended Governor's School for the Arts here. And I went for dance when I was in high school, and Malia, of course, for voice and musical theater, and talked about that. So we had so much in common, which was crazy. Of course, I felt like, you know, the old lady who is like chatting with the awesome, wonderful, you know, youngster. But it was a great experience, and we've kept in touch ever since.
We also, in terms of like what we had in common, we both worked as a work study in the music library, which I thought was so wild.
We did. I know.
The music library.
And we both share ethnic heritage, so we're both Filipina in that sense, and so we got to talk about all the stuff that goes along with that as well.
Yes.
So that was a lot of fun, and then just kind of, you know, getting to know each other throughout working together, and just the path of having a passion for the arts, going to a liberal arts college, right? You getting that education, and then sort of finding your way around what path you want to take, because it's certainly not an easy path to say that you want to just, you know, become a professional performer. So we talked about sort of like, how do you round yourself out a little bit? What are some things that you can do that kind of help that a little bit? So yeah, it was fun, and we've kept in touch ever since.
Oh, that's awesome.
Here we are.
And Malia, did you land there immediately following graduation?
Did I move here?
Yes.
Oh, yes. So I'm originally from here, and you know, I wasn't expecting to, you know, stay this long, but I mean, I'm trying to like find my groove in this sort of, because like your hometown, you're in there when you're growing up and when you're still like a kid, even though I feel like I'm a kid still, and then you go to college, your views, your thoughts, your ideologies are challenged, and you grow, and then coming in that place before that growth is definitely a learning curve. So I moved back here as soon as I graduated. It's just a good home base. Everyone's here, and I know there's a lot of opportunities that can grow from this home base I have.
And then the pandemic hit, right?
Yeah, and the pandemic hit. So I was grateful enough where I wasn't unemployed at any part. So it was smart to just stay put and continue my job, because, you know, apparently the golf course is open exercise. So of course they don't want to shut that down. Why would they? But it's okay.
And you actually had a neat experience of performing in a show, an actual local theater production virtually, right?
Yes, I kind of forgot about that.
How did that happen? Was there just like an open audition?
Yes. So actually, a couple months before, I was at another show. I was watching the touring company of Waitress at Chrysler Hall, and I ran into someone I worked with before in the theater scene, and she was the artistic producer for the show I did. So I did a chorus line with Generic Theater in downtown Norfolk, and she said, "Oh, like you should come out and audition." And I said, I mean, like, chorus line is super dancey, and like they have the best technique. It's just not, you know, my sort of expertise in the theater world. But I signed up. I had a slot to audition at an open call in March. And of course, that's when things started to, you know, get a little crazy. So we did a virtual audition. We had 24 hours to film something and give it to them. And they did like a virtual choreography sort of piece to do. And then I got a call the next day, "Hey, we would like to offer you this part." And I was like, okay, but like, how are we doing it? Like, how are we going to do theater and performance art in a pandemic? So basically, we did all of the rehearsals virtual for about 10 weeks.
Wow.
From March to June 10th, we did, it was kind of like, it felt like virtual schooling because we would have like this spreadsheet of things we needed to have memorized and learned, and then we would film it for them and receive critiques.
Oh, and receive critiques back virtually?
Yes.
So all your choreography, all your songs, everything.
Yes, all of that.
Crazy. Wow. That's so
Yeah.
much harder. It's so much harder when you can't vibe off of the other performers.
Yeah.
And like talk and just, you know, and then I saw a video that you posted of you guys after the first phase was lifted of the lockdown, where you were in a parking garage, about 30 of you guys, one in each parking space, rehearsing your choreography together.
Yes, that was so interesting, and I would never recommend it ever again. You know, dancing on, you know, cement and concrete is not good for you, but it was what we had to do in order so we could be like outside and socially distanced. And when that first rehearsal was over with everyone, then we would break it down into smaller groups, smaller sections, and we moved inside the theater. So we rehearsed for like about 2 or 3 weeks before we had a film crew come in, film it, turn it into like a movie musical like Grease Live or something, and then it was put on a streaming platform for a limited time. So that was an interesting way to do theater, but it was like I wouldn't change it. Like,
Right.
this is reality, and we did what we could with it.
Right.
Awesome. What a cool experience.
Yeah.
Well, we've had some more people join us, so while we get going on the next drink, if you're just joining us,
Yes. Let's do
please
this one.
type in to all panelists and attendees your name and class year. We'd love to connect with you, and if you have questions or comments, I'll relay them back to our fabulous bartenders tonight, Malia and Kimberly. So welcome. We're glad you're here. And Malia, our next drink.
Our next drink is called the Hugo cocktail. So this isn't an American or like westernized drink. You know, every girl has her study abroad experience with Hollins. So this one starts in Italy. Hate to be that annoying person where it's like, I was born to be in abroad. You know, everyone has seen that meme, and everyone can relate when they're.
I was born to be in abroad. Italy is magical. I'm just going to throw it out there. Italy is magic. So totally agree with you on that one.
So this drink, it was when I was studying there, and Hollins actually gave me a grant to study music there over the summer. So this is why I was like, this is the, you know, we have to find that Hollins connection. So we're going to start with some Prosecco. I didn't pop this beforehand, so it'll be.
We get to pop the cork together. Yes. So I'm just going to say that I learned many things in my 4 years at Hollins. One of the most cherished thing that I learned is how to paint a champagne bottle. And my wonderful intern at the end of our internship Malia presented me at the end with a painted champagne bottle that I still have to this day. So it's like one of our most favorite traditions for sure.
Oh my
So this
goodness.
is one of our alumna's favorite drinks, Nancy Benninger, another alumni board member. The Hugo is one of her favorite drinks. So I'm so glad you're here with us, and hopefully you're making one at home with us.
Yes. So let's see if I can pop this. You know, I may be a bartender, but
You got it.
oh, it was a twist off. That was so unsatisfying.
There's no ASMR on that one.
There's no ASMR. Like, okay, Lamarca, I'm sorry. I love you guys, but this is not, it needs to have that satisfying pop.
It's one of my favorite Proseccos though. Lamarca is a great one just to have with mimosas because you don't feel like you're ruining the Prosecco by adding the orange juice. And my preferred way is to do an eyedropper drop of orange juice in a full glass of champagne.
And
That's how you make a mimosa. Yeah,
We're paying for your buck.
that's right. That's right.
So we're gonna pour our Prosecco into, if you don't have a shaker or a glass to stir, and you don't want to do that.
I am substituting the Target brand cucumber and mint water just because it's sparkling, but just because I like the flavor of that, and Target in no way sponsored this event. Just
But
throwing
if they would, I'm sure they would.
Right.
And
Yes.
so we'll have our Prosecco in our glass. We're gonna do a splash of your preference of either club soda, tonic, sparkling water. Of course, I'm a sparkling water kind of gal. And I know it said elderflower syrup. Listen,
which I love.
you do?
Yeah. So elderflower, I would equate that to like a Saint Germain, which is an elderflower liqueur, which I do have back there, but it's fine. We'll skip it for today. Yeah. But it's a good one. It has an interesting flavor.
Yeah, it does. It does.
So is that just a plain simple syrup?
Yeah, this is just the
Okay.
plain simple syrup I'm doing a little dash of. I'm gonna shake it up a little bit.
Okay, I'm gonna add some lime to mine just to give it some citrus, and it goes with the cucumber sparkling water.
So here I am adding some.
Then, about making your own simple syrup, what is the best ratio of sugar to water?
That's a great question. So I would say not okay. So at least half sugar to your water, but that water boils down. So if you do a little bit more of that sugar, and because I like a little bit of a thicker simple syrup, because the liquid you're combining that into will kind of thin it out. So I would say a little over half, but not quite 3 parts.
Mm-hmm.
That's not super specific, but I hope that helps.
I've done 1-to-1 before, 1 to almost 1. So 1 part water to almost 1. It's a very sweet simple syrup, but it will put it in an airtight container fast. Right. Unless anyone out there has any other recommendations, we're certainly open to that as well.
Always open.
Also, it's easy to get from the store as well. Yeah. Oh, pretty glass.
Yeah. So it's got this kind of light, kind of iridescent color, which I love for summertime or for celebrating. So I'm going to garnish with a lime.
Okay.
Garnish jar.
Got mine as well. So mine's in sort of a colorful cup. It's a little bit difficult to see.
Beautiful.
The ring, but yes.
Okay, that lime isn't working.
You picked very refreshing drinks for us, Malia.
I'm glad. But yeah, so.
Oh, and then a little bit of mint too. That's
a bit of mint.
Helpful. Mint is always fun.
And here we go. You have your Hugo.
Beautiful.
I wish the mint was better behaved, but you know, it's gonna go down all the same way. And
that's the fun of drinking it at home. It doesn't have to be perfect, which is
exactly
the fun part. So awesome.
Cheers.
So any fun abroad stories from our attendees out there? If you want to drop in the chat, if you did go abroad, where you went, and if there are any memories that y'all might want to share.
Yes, I would love to hear those.
So while we give them a minute to do that, I'd love to hear from you all. So we have 1999 and 2019. If you guys could reflect back on the best advice you might have gotten as a recent grad, I think it'd be fun to compare stories.
Goodness. Malia can go first since I have to think way back to way far back. So let me think about that advice real quick.
So you were asking recent grad advice that I got.
You received when you graduated.
Oh my goodness. Well, one of the pieces of advice I got, I did not follow. It was to leave immediately. it was more of like not a threat, but also like, if you don't leave, you're gonna get stuck. And I was like, okay, that's a little harsh, so I didn't follow that. A good piece of advice I got was don't settle into a job quickly just to be like, hey, I'm at this cool 9 to 5. And I'm not invalidating those who immediately went into these incredible fields. But everyone is different. With me being an artist and in performing arts, this job, this bartending gig, was the best for me because it's stable-ish income, and flexible. So I was able to do 2 shows this past year in different places and still have a job to come home to because they're very flexible with me, and I'm very grateful for them. So if you're not ready to get into that 9 to 5 job yet, it's okay. And you shouldn't feel ashamed because everyone is at their own pace. And I think I had that issue for a while. Like, oh, I did all these amazing internships during my time at Hollins. I should do something immediately. And I realized, no, like, you have to do what's going to make you happy. And you're young. You know, my parents told me I was expired. So if your parents are negative towards you, like, don't disregard them. You are not expired. Like, I'm about to turn 23. It's okay. We all have time. We all are on our own timelines. And I think that's like the best advice. And it took me a while to listen to it and to like ingrain that in me. But yeah, and it's helpful when you have, so my partner, he's very, very supportive of me, because I was like, you know what, I need to get a job. I don't care if I'm happy or not. I just need to make more money. And he was like, no, Malia, listen to yourself. So yeah, I don't know. Definitely go on your own timeline and don't compare yourself to all of your classmates.
Absolutely.
Everyone's doing incredible things in their own way. So
I wholeheartedly support that. Comparison is the thief of joy.
I love that quote.
A wise meme on Instagram says so.
Yes. Ashley says, yes, Malia, everyone's career path is so different. And that's true. And like, you just have to get past that internal blockage, because no one besides like my family was saying, oh, you're expired, you need to go do this. It was more of like a internal sort of thing I had to work through, and I'm still working through that.
Yeah, everyone works through that, no matter what stage you're in. Yeah, clearly 23 is not expired from the 43-year-old. So
yeah. Any advice that you wanted to share that you remembered making an impression on you?
I'm sorry, me?
Yeah. Did you have anything that anyone told you that made an impression?
Yes. Yeah, so I, of course, in 1999, when I graduated Hollins, it was a different time then. And so I got some really good advice from my English professor, actually, at Hollins, who said, say yes and figure it out later. So if there's something that you want to do, that you have an opportunity to do, if someone's presenting you with an opportunity, know that you have the tools with which to figure it out. And if not, it's okay. It's okay to try and then fail and try something else. And so that sort of set that mindset in me to say, okay, so even though I was an English major, and clearly I'm not going to be teaching English because I cried every day doing student teaching, and clearly I'm not going to be writing the next great American novel, that I'm going to go and learn how to be a technical writer. And I said yes to that job opportunity. I had to Google what that was after the interview. Like, I clearly had no clue. So that then led, through random doors and windows that opened you know, a 20 some odd year journey in IT and randomly like software development and program management and all of that, which I ended up enjoying. So the advice of saying yes and figuring it out later worked for me. It may not be something that works for everyone, but just knowing that we have the tools and the background and the things that we kind of achieved at Hollins and did together, all that gives you the confidence to be able to go into a room and express yourself and communicate, right? And to be able to convince people of things and to get, you know, to be passionate about something. And that in and of itself is few and far between. So I think, you know, that's something that I still take with me to this day. I deal with a lot of imposter syndrome. I work in an industry that is entirely male dominated. So I always go back to that little thought in my head that, I know it, I've got it. I can do this, even though I'm crying in the bathroom.
Yeah, I think we can almost do a whole session on Hollins alumni and what they said yes to and the path that took them to, because I think that is one gift that Hollins gives so many of us, is that we might be a little afraid, or we might have to do some Googling before we do it, but just to take that leap and to say yes to an unexpected surprise, and then you really are excited at where that takes you. And Missy Roberts said, the other benefit is the liberal arts education. So we have the skills to try different things and reinvent ourselves throughout our career, which is really a huge gift and sets us apart.
Yeah, being resilient and just being open. And the fact that we've had to, you know, we've kind of had to Hollins is sort of a place where you make your own fun in a way. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not always laid out for you. And you do have to like sort through and create groups and create clubs and activities and sort of seek out things that you want to do. So I think that in and of itself helps to kind of make you more curious in that sense. So yeah, it's definitely a place where you, from day one, you're like, oh, they don't have a softball team, we're gonna make one.
That's awesome. Well, good advice. We're going to have to write this down and share it with our upcoming class. So I think time for our third and final drink.
Final drink.
So this is called the Naughty Flamingo. I just thought it was a fun dedication to the one time, I think it was my junior year of college. There was a bunch of these plastic flamingos that were plastered all over front quad. Like there might have been 80 flamingos on front quad. It was just super random. I thought that was very funny, and I thought
was it a holiday? Was it a trip, like a day of something?
I don't know. I don't know. Like I feel like Hollins had those random holidays and random days, so I thought,
it was Flamingo Day. Yes.
Day.
So I wonder if your friend Lucy, who joined us, that made their own fun, participated in the flamingo. Maybe she had something to do with it.
Thanks, Lucy. I'm glad you could make it. No, yeah, Lucy was like my rock, one of my rocks during my Hollins time. Since we're out of Hollins, I don't feel bad sharing this. There was one, I think it was ring night. We were like spray painting the underpass of Williamson Road, and poor Lucy, I don't know what happened, but we spray painted our faces instead of the cement. And like there is a video somewhere on my phone where like our faces, or mainly her face, is spray painted because it was in the opposite direction. We don't do that often, as you can tell.
That's right. There's a lot of insular experiences that have, I'm sure, occurred, especially during ring night, where things have happened that would never happen again in life, hopefully.
Who knows? They might.
Who knows? Yes.
So our third and final one is the Naughty Flamingo. So you're going to have gin. I have the Botanist. My favorite gin is actually Hendrick's, but you know, I can't afford that. You know, that's like a specialty, like
the special occasion.
I mean, this is a special occasion, but I can't do it right now, and that's okay. So we're gonna do some gin. We're gonna do 2 to 3 parts. I'm gonna do 1 to 2 because this is an abnormally large shot glass, and I realized that when I made the first drink.
It's strong.
It's strong. So we're gonna do 1 part gin. See, that's like 2 parts in 1. So we're just gonna pop that in.
Kristen says there's no such thing as a shot glass that's too big.
I mean, you're right. You're right. I agree.
Right.
And then in this little mixer, I'm gonna put a splash of simple syrup, like so. And then I have some grapefruit juice. Now, I don't like grapefruit juice either. I just love that coral bright color. And it's a
Me too. Yes. So I'm substituting the grapefruit juice with a kombucha, which is like a sparkling fermented grapefruity flavor drink. So the kombucha goes into my highball that says straight up badass on the highball. So I thought that was apropos for this evening.
Definitely.
Okay, so we're mixing that with the seltzer, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So I iced down my glass. Now, I don't like this shaker because it's exploded every time I've done something.
Maybe it's just not as hard.
Sorry about that. Did anyone else hear that, or was it just me?
No, we heard it, but it's cool.
So now, this is the only time it worked, of course. We're gonna pour this in. We love that color.
That's
So pretty.
So
Yes. And this is a cucumber garnish, right?
yes.
So refreshing. I love it.
Cucumber garnish, like so. And then I'm gonna put a sprig of rosemary. Now, rosemary is not good unless it's on a steak, but it's beautiful. It's a beautiful.
It is beautiful, and it's fragrant. It gives you that sort of fragrant aroma situation with it. That's awesome.
The Naughty Flamingo.
Cheers, everyone.
Many
Cheers.
flamingos,
Cheers, cheers.
you know, filtered the front quad lawn.
Oh my God, love this one.
Me too.
This is good. This is my favorite of the
My
three.
favorite too.
Favorite.
I'm sipping it, so we love that.
So which one is y'all's favorite? Tell us, audience, which one you like the best.
We'll see.
This was so much fun. Thank you guys so much for making the drinks and giving us the recipes. And we're here. Okay, here we go. We have a Hugo favorite.
We love a Hugo, very light and refreshing.
Yes.
I feel like you could drink that all day.
Kristen likes the Hugo. That is a good one.
Winner. Everyone is enjoying the Hugo. Oh, there's a Naughty Flamingo.
Naughty Flamingo. Holly. Oh, so we're having
It's the Holly Collins. That's a classy drink like you are, Duck. I totally can see that you would like that one.
too funny.
That's awesome. Well, we want to just thank you both, Kimberly, for joining us, and our expert bartender, Leah, for being with us tonight. It was really fun to connect, and to all of our participants, thanks for joining us. We have another Hollins Happy Hour coming up later this month on August 18th. We'll be doing a book group. And so we're actually reading Reflections of the Other, Being Black in Germany, which is by Ethel Morgan Smith, an alumna. And so we put the link in the chat feature for you guys to register, and it's probably not too late to order your book and get reading so you can join us. But this was a lot of fun. We're so appreciative of your time and so glad to have so many people join us. So thanks, everyone. Have a great evening. Post your pictures on social media, Hollins Happy Hour. Take care.
Bye, y'all. Have a great one. We'll see you next time.
We'll see you next time.
Bye, Malia.